Ba. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hold on, I'm gonna drink a little more.
Ara.
Virgo.
21 months? Oh God, Kanago Vom 1.
Oh God, Kanago Vom 1. Thank you for the Oh God, Kanago Vom 1. Arcus and the 21 months. Where'd my water bottle? Oh, it's over here. I found it. Hello, everybody. Glorified made it on time. Let's go. Thank you, Ken, for the big sip. This playlist is called Neon, so I hope it fits. I have a feeling it's not going to, because one of the songs is called Basking Turtles. But I don't know. Trying to go for some lo-fi type situations tonight. All lo-fi sounds the same to me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. What sounds more cybery? Hold on. We'll get into this stuff. What sounds more cybery? Like lo-fi or... Where is all of his stuff? He's got like a whole bunch. He's got too much stuff now. I need... No, not this. I need like all of the... I need all of the playlists. Okay. Okay, lo-fi electronic? Or synthwave? Or hi-fi? Chill step? House?
Ara.
I don't know what these are.
I have arrived.
Hello, Gato! Thank you for the resub, Gato! Nope, I am Tootie. But thank you, Elvin. Hello and welcome. Real lore hours. Yes. Okay, let's try that's like old school. Let's try electronic. Let's try EDM. Yeah, this is Alright. So before we get into the stream, hello Pickle, hello, welcome. I just wanted to touch base with you guys a little bit about the announcement in the Discord. And if anyone had any questions or concerns or anything like that about the announcement, and if not, then that's okay, we can move on too. So I did just want to touch base with you guys because it was wasn't the best announcement as far as like news, like good news, but you can look around and the avatar actually moves as well. Yeah. Like weirdly turning my head though. Oh, I know why. Hold on. I know why. Hold on. We'll fix this. We'll fix this. I'll have to do. Time to be a problem. Let's go. I don't know what's going on with the chickens, guys. It's calibrated properly, I think. Maybe it's not. Music isn't really doing it for me either. Oh, it's not calibrated properly. It's calibrated properly for the other channel. Oh well. Well, you guys don't get chickens and just chatting, I suppose. Commissar can't fix it. No chicken, why even live? Alright, well, if no one else has any issues or questions or concerns going on with that announcement, then we can just move on and we don't have to drag it through the mud any further. Gonna take some sippy sip of waba. Oh, you know what I didn't do is I didn't even open up the dang Google Doc I made. I didn't even open up the dang Google Doc, guys. Why is it saying 19 seconds there, but 37 minutes here? Am I about to go into an ad? Alright. Here's my Google Doc. So, when am I not a Twitch doodad? Okay, so we're gonna go into here. I'm going to attempt to make some sort of, cheat sheets, if you will, to help you guys. Yeah, be about to talk about real shit. Chat, chimkin broken, yeah. So this music isn't doing it for me. Sorry. I need to be in a mood, you know what I mean? Try this. This might be able to do it. The chicken should work now if it's that upsetting for you. I'm gonna try to make some sort of a cheat sheet, but again, the issues with the cheat sheets is that a lot of this stuff might change as time goes on. So, they can't always be 100% accurate, and I'm not gonna like start going through and like fixing every little thing every time I change something. So, you know, you're just gonna have to take it with a grain of salt for what it is. Oh, thank you, Bleach, for letting me know that you're a nerd. So I think what I'm going to do is split it into, we're gonna zoom in a little bit right here. I'm gonna split it into 2 categories. Yeah, for right now, they're general guidelines because, like I said, stuff can change. Because like I was working through stuff as I was working through. Oh. As I was working through stuff last night, I realized that there's parts of the magic system that kind of needed to be tweaked. So that's just kind of gonna have to be how it is as time goes on. So like I said, yeah, things might change. I don't know. Just based on, this is not a complete, this is we're at the very rough draft stage, so there's not going to be anything like set in the stone for a hot minute. So, so a lot of people were asking, oh yeah, and for those who are uninitiated to the screaming in the miners chat, we had originally been calling these guys Helldivers, but upon further research and what have you, I've decided to change the name from Helldivers to Canaries. So if you hear me talking about Canaries, I actually mean the same as Helldivers. So, just so. Yeah. Hello, Paladin! I've been bonked. Is that what that quack sound was earlier? Very fragile, easily killed by monsters. Yes, exactly. Okay, let me just find, there we go, that's fine. All right, so everyone was asking, how does one become a canary? So there's the easiest way to explain most of the stuff around canaries would be to split it into 2 different groups. And that would be sponsored. That's really bold and I don't need it to be bold. Clip, work with me. That'd be sponsored canaries, and that would be in. You son of a bitch. Why is it automatically doing bold? That's really weird. Okay, and then dependent and whatever. It's gonna have spelling errors. You guys are just gonna have to get over that. I don't know why it's bolding it, but whatever. We're not gonna mess with that. So sponsored canaries and Spaniard. Sponsored. You guys are making me question everything. Sponsored and independent. Look at me. Shut the fuck up. So, sponsored? Yes, sponsored. What is with this? What is this? Is this set the default, please, for the love of God? Because that would be great. Okay, so, son of a bitch. That's fine. This is what I do it my annoying way. Sport! Okay, sorry, okay, we can focus now. I'm sorry, guys, we're back. Like I said, this is gonna be a mess. Okay. So a sponsored canary would, so how all canaries become canaries is through, they need to have, okay, all canaries need to pass an aptitude, don't fucking judge me, aptitude, whatever, test, and pay licensing fees. So, and that's all of them. They all have to do that. So then there's different ways for you to reach that. There's gotta be an easier way to do this. Scrabble, let's go. I refuse. So obviously a sponsored. Do this. I might just start writing it if this is how it's gonna be. Sponsored Canaries are normally okay, I might just start writing it out if it's good. Their place. Okay. Well, goodbye, keyboard. You're a bitch. What's it doing? It's locked up. Like a hunting tag. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, no, not like a hunting tag, like a license. Like, I guess a hunting tag's kind of like a license. No, like a driver's license. Like a hunting tag you have to get renewed every year. It'd be like a driver's license. Use the underground to be called Canaries. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so I'm just gonna write. My handwriting's not the greatest. I'm sorry, y'all will just have to suffer because we'd be doing this a lot longer if I had to actually write everything out with a keyboard. They have to be OSHA approved. Okay, so a sponsored Canary normally would have licensing paid for by sponsor. I'm really great at writing. And they normally serve as an oh god. Hey, sir. Okay, so they serve as an apprentice to an already experienced canary that serves under sponsor. Don't worry, guys. I'm just gonna cry after the stream because nothing's working the way it's supposed to. So that is how that works. Sorry. Kill me. Okay. Wait. Kill what? Cry now and farm content. No. Remember, children taxation is left in the government cannot stop you all. Wow. Okay. Starting to think I might just talk and then not do this part on stream because clearly it doesn't want to work with me. An independent contractor, obviously, they still have to pay for all these things, but they would have to. So they, like a knight and a squire. So then they would have to, you know, find their own funding. So. Have to find their own form of funding, and then they would also have to pass the licensing exam on there. Oh, simple as. So you're on your own pretty much as an independent. These guys mercs, or do they have a social status like knights or samurai? For the most part, so Hold on to that thought, and I will explain that as we go on without... I'm trying not to get too scattered, but there we are covered in that. PowerPoints are made... I didn't want to make a PowerPoint. That was the thing. I didn't want to do that. Everyone cried about not having a cheat sheet last time, so I'm trying to have a cheat sheet for you guys, and now you're crying about the cheat sheet. I don't know how to make you all happy. I'm sad. Alright. Moist will do. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Exactly. For a crypt sheet. Sorry, I'm just going over my thing. Yeah, so it's hard. It's difficult as an independent. Normally independents are from the Strigan district, and for those who don't remember, the Strigan district would be the lower district that's wrapped around the coil, that's underground. And the Lucient quarters is the district that is above ground, that is more built like a normal city. And Lucient quarters houses the royal family and the nobles and the merchants and the artisans and the people that are well off and the upper middle class type situations. My name's not Billy. So there are ways for someone of the Strigan district to become a canary without having all of that family or company backing behind them. There are a few factories or manufacturing facilities in the Strigan district that that music was really distracting. Sorry. Okay. There are a few factories or manufacturing facilities in the Strigan district that are owned by Strigans and not owned by the upper middle class of the Lucient quarters. So they sometimes, if they have extra funding, will sponsor Canaries to then pass their tests and pay for the licensing fee so that they can use them as marketing to the merchants and the artisans and whatnot up in the Lucient quarters, because the Canaries are very popular with those in the Lucient quarters. It's because a lot of this stuff is broadcasted on Arcane Television, which I haven't had a chance to rename properly yet, but essentially, so yeah, the Canaries for the most part are treated like rock stars. Second. So, however, independent Canaries are often overlooked by the media. They are looked down on by the sponsored Canaries, and are commonly seen as cannon fodder. Why? Because they're not cool. They're not rock stars. They are kind of just this, they're there. They exist. They're there. They made it. They are not, you know, they don't have the flashy clothes or the, you know, the PR team or anything like that. They're just, they're there. So they be vibing. Yeah, they do be vibing. So, and then sponsored Canaries. Shoot. Okay. Commonly treated as celebrities. Some teams are more serious, are more serious, and thus not actively participate. Don't judge my spelling. In PR type situation. You guys get the idea. I'm just ad-libbing. Me. Canaries. Do commercials. Fan meetups. Meets. Photo shoots. On the side. Don't worry about yes. Cadbury's is a great name. Wonder if they have cosplayers. I don't know. Yeah. So let me just go down the list. There was a lot of questions you guys asked. I didn't unfortunately get to all of them, but I'll try my best to answer. Yeah, nothing like writing while people are watching. I know, I'm okay. Okay. I'm trying to think of, we're kind of still trying to stick to the first question. Mentorship, pay for the license fee. Pretty much it. Someone asked if they are like mercenaries. I guess that would be the easiest way to describe them, would be mercenaries. But that kind of ties into how they're paid. Which I know was a question. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, clip. Do what you want. Clip? Paid by the company via contracts. Contracts are contracts different depending on company or family sponsoring. So basically what that's not right. Sponsoring. So basically what that means is some contracts. Oh, Honor, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Welcome, Raiders. They're like bands from Kings of the Wild. Yes? I don't know what that is. Oh my god, Bleach. So basically, depending on the type of contract you have, because some companies and families are smaller than others. So some will pay a sponsored canary based on like how many monsters they kill, what kind of stones were pulled from the monsters, how deep they, you know, pushed into the coil. And then some will just pay like a salary, like a normal salary. And others will pay like a normal salary, and then you get bonuses for like a commercial appearance, or you know, things like that. So why am I so small? I'm so tiny. Hello, welcome. Independents get paid differently, and there's a big long splurp about that, so I'm gonna find that part in my thing quick. All right, so this is a little bit more complicated. Independent canaries are not able to negotiate a contract, but it sounds like a scout or a cartographer. No, not really. Canary is a new name for Helldiver, because Helldivers are the name Helldivers used like literally everywhere. Plus, every time I mentioned Helldivers, everyone's like, "That's a great game!" So I just changed the name. So I keep clicking on the stream instead of where I'm typing. How are they paid? Helldiver is a bird in Final Fantasy 16. Nice. Very cool. Okay, so independents get paid a little bit differently. It's a bit more complicated because they cannot negotiate proper contracts. They are paid, you know what, I'm gonna do shorthand, sort of. Paid through the coil staff. I don't have a cool name for them yet, but they basically are the ones that run the licensing, and they run the exam, and they let people know who can go in next and who has to leave, and they organize the cleaners that go in, and they write contracts with companies and all that fun and funky stuff. So they're like the bureaucratic part of the coil. Gatekeepers, kinda, yeah. They are paid through the coil staff that run the coil. Indies are are paid in slegs. The fucking nerds, you mean? Yes. They are paid in slegs, which is a credit that they can take back to the Dragon District? Yeah, district. Purchase goods and services. But can I train to be a hospital clerk? Yeah. So these slags are not the legal tender. They can be exchanged. Slags can be exchanged at one half the. I'm typing with my keyboard on my thighs. Half the value for crowns, saints, or crests. That is the money in descending order, like quarters, dimes, and pennies, which are the legal tender for the country that I can't remember the name of at the moment. So basically what that means is that so you could be from a prominent family, and if you don't have a sponsorship, you still have to be paid as an independent. I get it. You still have to be paid as an independent, but essentially what this is if you get paid in like 500 slags, for example, you would turn that in, and then you would be given, you know, 200 saints and 50 crowns or whatever, you know, just something equal to 250. So you can choose to take your money back, where you technically can pay for it for full value where you live, or you can exchange it for things, because if you live in the striking district, and we'll talk more about that later, if you live in the striking district, you can pay to move up into the Lucian quarters. It just costs a lot of money. And as you can see, they try to make it as difficult as possible to get to that point. So. Yeah. Yeah, this is where it gets saucy. Enabling encouraged to exchange market to get more crowns. So it's not necessarily an exchange market. It's just how the government has set up the pay for that. So. Let me think. Trying to find all the stuff that's like split first so we can run it down here and then screenshots the stream. I'm gonna hopefully post this all. If it still makes sense, I'll post this all in the Discord afterwards. So you don't have to worry about taking screenshots. Are you imagining sponsors burning out Canaries teams as fast as possible? Yeah, so I probably won't type out literally everything, but I'll try my best. Because I don't want to share my sheet because I have stuff on there that I can't share with you guys. But I'm trying to find all the stuff that's different between the two first. And then we can go on to other stuff. I think that's really it. Obviously, as far as gear goes, sponsored Canaries would have better gear, more quality gear. It would be maintained better than someone who is functioning independently, because they would have to pay and manage their own gear. And most of the gear does come from the Lucian quarters, so it's either really expensive or they have to kind of make their own the best they can. I do have a sheet I can't share. So, you know, gas masks might not be the greatest for someone who's independent versus someone who's sponsored. Someone might get the idea to break into the coil and sneak in and try to steal equipment off of dead bodies and potentially be eaten alive by crabs. Who really knows? That might be something that could happen. It makes sense if you don't have the means to purchase your own gear. Stealing it might be a better idea. I think that's all for like the split stuff really though. Epic cleaner fights. Yeah. One thing it should be noted, I put a little note for myself. Sponsored Canaries. Sometimes they might not be the strongest team to work with in the coils, but they have a different priority. So sometimes companies will hire them and they're more like K-pop stars and less of like, you know, skilled warriors. So then they're kind of just big celebrities and they do more commercials and fan meetups and stuff and kind of like advertise their brand more than they actually like do canary work. And then there's other teams that are more focused on doing the work and less of doing like team meetups. So, you know, those ones might be grittier or they might be, you know, more gruffy kind of veteran type dudes. And then there might be some that like go all the way to one side or the other, you know? Really nothing bad could happen. Nothing bad at all. And I think what we'll do is we'll move over. I'll add some canvas over here. I'm sure this won't kill my computer at all. Oh my god, no, that will in fact kill my computer. Beep. Beep. Hello? Aw. That's not what I wanted. There, blank slate. Have you read the Kings of the Wild books? No, I have not read any of those. I've never even heard of them. Teams of Canaries are called... X. Beep. Of Canaries are called cages. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought I turned that off. Ignore that. What's going on? The wings? Oh yeah, that's right. You'd like them. That's what the adventuring bands in those books are like. One part adventure, one part rock K-pop stars. Nice. Maybe I'll take a look then. What's going on with this? All right. Enter. Okay. Cages are normally made up of three. Wow. Okay. Why did I do that? 3 people. Cages contain a striker, which we talked a little bit about. And so they for sure contain a striker and a guardian. Wow, if you could stop. Hold on a minute. I swear I turned that off. Gone forever, guys. Oh, no, go away. Gone forever. Goodbye. F, rip. Done for you. All right. So, cages are normally made up of 2 to 3 people, for sure a striker and a guardian. And then they can also have a slinger in them. They can function in larger groups, depending on how many a company has available to them. You guys weren't activating it. I was accidentally activating it when I was hitting Shift G, so. But, so a company... Wait, no, I was doing that. That wasn't you. It was when I hit Shift G. So if a company has more canaries available to them, then they can kind of combine and mix and match. So some larger teams might have, you know, 4 guardians, 2 strikers, and like 5 slingers in the back, or maybe they just have a bunch of guardians and then like 2 slingers or something. It kind of depends. I don't have, someone asked about their tactics. I don't have any specific tactics, mostly because I think it would be very situational. They're kind of functioning as scouts. So if they don't really know necessarily what they're going to run into, it's kind of difficult to form tactics. Companies, normally when they do like a large push deeper into the coils, there will be prep time involved where, you know, they gather information, they start training groups of people together, they make sure everyone's like cohesively functioning as a unit if they can, you know, and then they'll do like a large push, you know, deeper into the coil. You don't need to have a full team, but sending you would be hurting if you're missing, like you could have a striker and a slinger, but then, you know, you're not as protected as you could be as if you had like a guardian. Hold my notes, BRB. Okay, well I'm gonna take a sippy sip of water while Caboose is having a meltdown. Okay, he's back. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. So there can be larger groups. But normally they function in smaller groups. Oh, I remember. Must be weather. I remember what someone asked. Get out of here. Someone asked how they're grouped up. So, sponsored Canaries normally recruited by families and companies that assign them to a cage. They remain in this cage until they are killed or retired. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Or fired, I guess. Fired? No. It happens. Independence, again, a bit more... Why do you do this? A bit more complicated. Joy would be happy I'm using the cheesy names for stuff. So independents are grouped up. They, dependent... I don't need to write that. Function separately, but, no, how do I say that? Basically, they meet up at the, let's say, lobby. Beginning of the coils, I guess. Beginning of the coil. And are randomly assigned teams based on lottery. There are no requests or substitutions. So, if you are an independent canary, you basically go there, you wait, you know, you sign in, you register, and you wait until your number is called, and they stick you in a group that has one striker, one guardian, one slinger, if there are slingers available, and they send you in to go hunting. So you might know these people, you might not know these people. The chances are you don't get to train with them though. So, independent teams, no canary guilds or unions, no. It's all functioned through the companies. Nope. They're kind of like, I thought this last night while I was writing all this. I'm like, I don't want to compare them to VTubers, but essentially they're pretty much like VTubers. Like, if you're an independent VTuber, you're fighting for yourself, and then sponsored ones have like all the hookups and they have the connections and they set you up with groups and things like that. So, you living the fantasy. I know. So, they're basically Twitch streamers. Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I was like, I don't wanna. But yeah, because the teams function like gens and stuff, so. Ah crap. I mean, ah crap. Yeah, they're like an awkward collab that you don't get to choose your collab partner. I hate it. I hate it so much. But yes, that's essentially how they're grouped up. Again, this is a setup that allows the Strigans to have a shot at moving up in the world, but it's not in their favor. So, collab roulette sounds fun. That sounds like an absolute nightmare. I would never do that. Oh, it sounds like an absolute nightmare. Oh yeah, I have some more. Oops, nope, I gotta be on this side. Someone asked, do they know what they are fighting? I give my finest F whoever paired with Fubi. Fubi's not a VTuber though, technically. Okay, so independents do not have access, but have the optimistic use story that gives it big and gets absolutely abused by the system now. Do not have access to official records concerning it's moving so slow. Concerning monsters. I should just say flora and fauna. Oh my gosh, flora and fauna side of the coil information is passed through experience and word of mouth. Sponsors, on the other hand, are set the fuck up. Have access to official records. Companies and families will spend large amounts to research the coils. Boom. Robo got the information if you got the coin. Exactly. Have the optimistic use story. So yeah, that's, I think, funnily enough, as far as everything fits, I think that's everything that kind of separates them. So, does anyone have any questions right now? I should have saved this. I don't have any other questions, otherwise I can go back down the sheet, but it can take like we're in an ad break right now, so I'm just gonna take a little, there was a lot of tippity tap typing going on, so might take a moment, just chit chat instead of trying to type it down. Just like me, for real, for real. VCO host. Can't believe Gamma's bonked me. Someone's gonna see this, like, this screen as a thumbnail and they're gonna just run from the stream. Sponsor Canaries from different companies compete against each other, correct? Sort of. There's not like a direct competition in the fact that like there's a leaderboard type situation. However, companies are constantly vying for better stones to sell. They are vying for marketing space. They are vying for popularity. They are vying for, you know, lots of things that involve running a company as far as competition goes. So they are part of that. Get to stream. Robo, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you. So there's not like a, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe there will be a leaderboard, but there's not like they're not directly in competition of each other, like on an official manner, if that makes sense. It would be more of like, you know, you're trying to make your company look better. Like obviously the independent ones, they're just trying to make some money and live for the most part. But the sponsored ones, they're you know, they're part of a PR team. They're part of a marketing team. They're a tool for the company to grow, is what they are. So So what's the process for getting sponsored? Ooh, that's a good question. Basically, I don't think I'm gonna type this one out. I'm just gonna take a break from typing for a minute. So you guys are gonna have to pay attention. I'm gonna take a sippy sip of water. Basically, to get sponsored, essentially it's word of mouth. So if you are a child of a noble family and you go, I want to be a canary because I want to live the rock star life, you know, then you go to daddy and say, Daddy, do you want to pay for a team, Daddy? Or Daddy, can I be on one of your teams, Daddy? And then Daddy would be like, yes, no, or maybe so. Or maybe a corporation goes, you know, hey, your child is from a long line of successful canaries and you have a very powerful name and we want to sponsor your child to be a canary, and we can kind of build like a family business type alliance there. Mama, Dada, I want to be a bird. Papa, make the funny birdman kill something, Papa. Papa. I can imagine independent ones being hired by companies in secret for plausible denial. Yes, yeah. Are there repo men for implants? Like Repo the Genetic Opera? Because that was one of my favorite movies growing up. Father, Papa, I crave violence, Papa. Pepe. It was a great movie, so good. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think that would be something that the story would focus on so much as far as implants and stuff. I guess that could possibly be a thing. But there wouldn't be a lot of focus on something like that in the story. It might be something that would be like maybe mentioned or something. Nobody no watched it. Me, I watched it. I watched it like 600 times. I have all the songs memorized. Yeah, so that's probably not something that would be brought up a whole lot, especially in like the upper district, because most of the time you're getting implants because you have the money, if that makes sense. And they're not like a life-saving thing, so it would be rare for someone to get pushed into a corner like you're like, oh, you need to take out this big loan or you're gonna die. Like, it wouldn't be like that. So yeah, that's pretty much how sponsorships. So you can be like, what do they call it? Poached. You can be poached from a team. So if you're part of a team and, you know, another company wants to pay you more and buy out your contract, that's something that can happen. Very dog eat dog world out there. If you're unhappy with your contract, maybe you're stuck on a super serious team and they just want to go in and kill monsters, and like their call to fame is that they're super strong dudes and they're hardcore, and you just want to be a K-pop star. You know, you can try to negotiate with another team that's more aligned with that. They are not Space Marines, no. Poachers, yeah. So you can be poached. Daddy. So you can be poached from another team. Things like that. Pretty standard. Smaller companies can build teams. They would just have to, you know, recruit and then pay licensing and, you know, make sure that people get through their exams. There's no school though. There's no like school to become a canary. There's no school arc. No canary school arc. You either do or you do not. Anyone have any other questions? Hit fight? Maybe. School canary. Well, I'm gonna go watch War on Drugs play at Summerfest. Wow, Summerfest sounds like the worst time. Last time I was at Summerfest, I almost got a cigarette in my eye. Life expected lifespan for a canary. So independence is very short. A couple of weeks, I think. Lone canary walking alone at night. Group of masked individuals jump them and rip their implants out later to be sold on the black market. Yeah, that was something I was gonna cover too. I was gonna come. Don't you worry, Robo. I got you. I got you, Robo. Sponsor Canaries. It's a bit longer, and there's that takes me into my next thing is the television broadcast that goes along with the Canaries. Television broadcast is for entertainment of the masses. It's to show off the company's earning potential and how they have so much money to dump on their Canaries. So every week, this TV production Otter, I'm going to save that so I can catch it in a minute. How does a poor boy become a canary? Yeah, no, I can only pin one. Okay. So they choose a new cage a week. So they're, you know, like a different, but it's like a few cages. Basically, when you are followed by the TV crews, you have a PR person, you have an assistant PR person, they have radios, you have a band of people to protect you and the PR people, you have cameramen, you have like people that get you lunch, like it's just, but then basically what happens is the guards and the cannon fodder that they drag along with these little pikes, they will normally rough up the creature a bit more that you're fighting so that you can have like a gallant victory. So you can always win. So you can always get your 15 minutes of fame on the television show. So if you're one of the higher teams that's constantly getting picked to go onto the show for one reason or another, be it random decision or, you know, your sponsor company just happens to have a connection or a deep pocket, then you know, your life expectancy is going to be longer because you're really not in a lot of danger at all. Could they send the film crew into the coil? The film crew does go with them and the guards and everybody. So there's a film crew that does go down with them. A film crew does not record the standard everyday themes. I've decided last night that there are some cameras in the coils near the top. And they try to get what they can, but they're like security kind of CCTV type camera situations. And then it's a really messed up idea, but then I was like, oh, what if we had this messed up idea where like they did like the fails of the week, you know, like, and it was just like gruesome belligerent deaths that they caught on CCTV in the coils. It's so fucked up. Yeah, so I gotta come up with a better name for that besides fails of the week, but essentially coil live leaks. Coil star! Coil star! How large is the crew? I talked about that a little earlier. Normally it's about, oh, how large is the camera crew? It depends. Damn, 24/7 live leak. The camera crews and guards and stuff is pretty large. Then they move in their own kind of like cluster formation. I'd say about like 20 people or so. Ish. Depending on who they're following. Duskinder Shredder. Oh no. See what that guy did right before he got melted into slime? Do not do that. And then everyone goes, wow, man, that's crazy. And then they share it on their iPhones. Their fantasy iPhones. All right, we're going to hit up Rookie Mistake. We're going to hit up Otter's question. What about the off-duty stuff? Do they gamble? Are they like adventurers, burn all their money in a week and go again? That depends. That depends on the people. A lot of them... Unpin this message. If they're not in the coils, some of them have other what's the word? They have other things they do involving their job, like doing fan meet and greets and signing autographs, doing commercials, photo shoots, that sort of thing. A lot of them, the sponsor ones, do training. you know, they got to work out and train and be fit and things like that. The independent ones, basically what entertainment is available when they're not trying to die. Yeah, it's not like, they're not like, oh, you're a canary, so you have to smoke tobacco cigarettes. The independent ones, a lot of them are, you know, they probably work in the factories or they're trying to take care of their families. School isn't a huge thing in the striking district. School's available, but a lot of people have to leave it to work. So, you know, not everyone's super educated. So I think that's where a lot of the drinking and the gambling and the that sort of situation would probably come in more. Do independent canaries ever get recruited? It's very rare because for an independent for an independent canary to get recruited, they more or less would have to move to the Lucian quarters. And that is not something that happens often. Now, like I did say, there are a few sponsored canary teams, cages, that are sponsored by factories in the striking district. Like, and when I say a few, I mean like 3, I guess. So, you know, they could recruit independent people a lot easier, a lot more easily. So the gas mask, watch out for the crabs. So it'd be more socially driven rather than talent driven. I mean, like, so it's really expensive to move from the Strigan district to Lucian quarters. So you would have to be good enough that a company would not only want to pay you in general, but they would have to pay to have you moved up, sort of thing. Because if you're living in the Strigan district but you work with people in the Lucian quarters, that you'd have to travel every day, and like that's kind of a mess. So it's very rare. Are brothels and other vices a thing? I imagine a live fast, die hard life. Wow, why are you asking about brothels, Otter? Why are you asking about that? I mean, it's not something that will ever come up in the story, so I don't know. I guess, maybe, I don't know. That's not something I would ever really write about, I think. It wouldn't be part of the plot, so. No. How do you forget Jeff's name? I don't know if there would be like actual brothel. I don't know. Ladies of the night? If it was a thing that happens, or if they're all Puritans. Well, no, they're not Puritans, but like, I don't know. Like I said, it's not something that would ever come up in the story, so it's not something I've ever really took the time to consider. So. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just isn't something that I bothered considering. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even, I can't even think of a reason to imply it. I don't know what that is. You guys are like, it's like this, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. If there's frontier type settlements and not great public order, there's probably brothels. It doesn't mean they gotta go there though. Well, it's not frontier like settlements, so. Not even because I'm a degen. I don't believe you. But yes, I don't know. Use your critical thinking, Otter. Figs and crushed up gems. Hell yeah. So the proper room for canary is to do a canary shit, or do they get in the way? Oh, you're going back to the TV. Sorry, Bleach. I didn't mean to miss that. No. So yeah, they get in the way. They're just, it's a mess. Like as long as the camera people and the producer and everybody, they get their shot, they don't care. That their main focus is the shot, is the entertainment factor. So whatever that may be, whatever gets in the way, as long as they get their shot. That being said, the camera crew will, for some level of understanding, protect the Canaries, but if something belligerent happens, the camera crew would run. Okay, next time I get the urge to write something, it's probably something like that. Yeah. Does the show just glorified violence to the extreme? Kind of, yeah. The Lucians, the people in the Lucian quarters have very comfortable lives. They're very comfortable. They don't have crime, really. They don't have, you know, they're not short on food. Nobody's really struggling. So they like to see that. I don't know about, no, I wouldn't say kids getting eaten on primetime telly, but it is something that normally the shots that would be broadcasted would be like the Canaries killing monsters, not the monsters killing the Canaries. The fails of the week would be a small segment in the entire show, if that makes sense. Who does all the middle class type jobs? The clerics, the lawyers, the supervisors, the shopkeepers? It depends. There's you know, if you're in the Lucian quarters, there's people on the lower end of that do those kinds of jobs, and then if you're in the Striking district, there's people that do some of those jobs. I don't think there would ever be a lawyer, but it just kind of depends on where you are. People kind of fill in the gaps where they're needed. It's easier to think of them both, even though they're two districts in the same city. For the most part, they function separately from each other, save for the manufacturing and exchange of the stones and metals from the coil. If there's law, there's lawyers. The Strigan district doesn't have a whole lot of law. They have guards, but the longer you're there, the more you realize that the guards are meant there more to... Wow, that was not a good sentence. The longer you're there, the more you realize the guards are there to prevent people from sneaking up instead of keeping order down there. Are there like off the books information traders? Absolutely. This is a lot more comfortable when I don't have to write like a whole bunch of stuff. You've decided. Talked about that. Oh, I can talk about. Someone asked, who's the most famous? I think it was Gato asked that. I could be wrong. I think it was Gato. The most famous canary ever, and I do mean ever, was, in fact, Jericho the hero. The most famous. Wait, maybe I should. Most famous. Everyone knows about Jericho the hero. Everyone. And I mean like everybody. Lucian Quarters, Strigan District, everybody knows about Jericho the hero. Everyone has a different story about the amazing feats of Jericho the hero. Everybody. Literally everybody. Different story every time. No one has the same story about Jericho. No one knows who he is. No one knows where he came from. No one knows where he went. But he was a glorious man and he did unspeakable, amazing things. The Lido jacket from year 2000. Jesus. Are there independents who are basically community funded? No. I mean, I would There could be, however, it's so difficult for people to grasp to put together funds to send someone to become a canary just for them to die relatively quickly. It wouldn't make sense for people to pool their money into that when they're struggling to buy food. So. Are you okay, Caboose? So, like, there could be. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to do that, though, because you're basically taking food out of people's mouths to send someone to their death. It might have been Joey the other cat. So there's a lot about companies. Are the independents managed by a government organization or something? No, they are completely independent. The only governing body they have is the COIL staff. So they are the ones which the COIL staff are part of the government. So they're the ones that hand out their pay. They're the ones that, you know, assign them to groups. There's the ones that, you know, kind of make sure that they're licensed and that they pass their exam. No, I'm never okay, but that's fine. So they don't have like an independent union or anything like that. They are literally just handed down what they get from the COIL staff. I might just call them the COIL staff. I kind of like that. So. Well, otherwise, State Jericho looks like Giga Chad. Yeah, pretty much. I also have other famous people. The currently famous people who are living and people are well aware of their existence is most famous living Canaries currently working. Which would make you think they're living would be as follows. I will list their, how do they do it for football? They list their name and then position. Active. Active's a good word. Active makes a lot of sense. Look at you guys using words I don't remember. That's deep. Okay. So the agency of the exploration and monetization of the COIL, known as Strike as the COIL staff. Yes. So I will list their names and their positions. Let's skedaddle for the night. This has been great, Laura. Really fascinated by these guys. Take care. Thank you, Abs! I was really worried I was losing you guys because it's been a lot of typing and a lot of talking. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I get really nervous. All right. So the first one is Crown Prince holy shit. Domitar Strivis, who is also known as Guardian of Hearts, and he is the team striker. I cannot explain to you guys how much pomp and stuff is going on with this. I can spell. There's a world info, but you won't let us see it because there's nothing on it right now. It's an absolute nightmare of a mess. None of this stuff is on it right now. Kick, he has a cringe nickname. The next one is the second prince. That's not his name. Give me a second. In the world anvil, I renamed him, and I think it's in my notebook. His name is pending. Second prince. Bogian Strivis. And he is known as the Discerning. Is the Team Slinger. Don't mind the formatting. I hate you all. Ring pending is now his name. I hate all of you. And then the last one is Peripherals Hall, also known as the Silver-Horned Devil. He is the team's guardian. And right now, these are the most famous cage. Guardian. Jiminy. There you go. Hello, Recyc! An hour late? Oh my god. So these are the this is the most famous cage. If you can't tell, there's a royal family, so I'm sure you can imagine the kind of funding push behind these people and what have you to get them in the position that they are in. No, Recyc has his own life. It's very important that he can only that he focuses on what's important. Not harass people, but making it to streams. The Guardian of Hearts is a strike. I know, it's true. It's right. You cringe. Yeah, so that's the most favorite famous active team right now. So and they do a lot of fan meetups and photo shoots and commercials, and they are widely known for their amazing kills that they get just in time. That certainly is not staged in any way, shape, or form. So I'm always going to say Guardians of Hearts, lol. Please add a space before second. There you go. I think some of us gotta get a slip of paper saying we can be trusted with nationwide power supplies. Yeah, see, that's sketchy. Yeah. Oh no, did I die? Hello, I'm back. All right. Anyone else got any other questions? I think I kind of covered everything. We will do a stream on specific gear for them at a different time, because I would like to draw some of that during the stream, and this one's just kind of too wide and broad to cover specifics. Victus, I should time you out for that. Does it have anything to do with the stream? Bleach? I've decided I'm just not answering off-topic questions. Are the masks next? Masks would be part of the gear. What are the commercials for if nobody has money? Like you described, the majority of the people living hand to mouth. No. So the people in the people in the Strigan district are very hand to mouth. People in Lucian quarters have tons of money. They have tons of disposable income. They're constantly buying stuff. They're very consumer focused. And then, you know, they're getting, you know, Roktamek for, you know, simple reasons. Kind of, they're very, you know, trying to simplify their life and have more convenience and things like that. So the commercials are for them. The commercials are also for other companies to, you know, sponsor each other, you know, go make marketing things and you know, form trade. I can't use words. We've also described them as being basically all a part of nobility, which is odd. No, they're not all a part of nobility. I was just talking about people that tend to be sponsored. Is normally people of noble descent or part of a company.
Can I get a Hoya?
Thank you, Rosai, for the gift sub! Yeah, I asked a real question. Hold on, I'm answering Joey's question. Can't say about sending and zooming. Oh, well, thank you, Rosai. Have a good noom. Okay. About specialists, I had to walk away. I did not catch your question about specialists. No, no, no. I mean people in the Lucian Quarter. Previously, you said that they're basically anyone with money is the crown. No, I didn't say that. No. I don't know if I... Yeah, I think their money is called crowns. I don't know if that's where you got confused or if I said it on a different stream. But people... Not everyone is a noble family in the Lucian Quarters. There's like normal upper middle class people that, you know, are you know, some are merchants, some are artisans, some are, you know, researchers, some, you know, make fancy clothing, some make shoes, some make, you know, some are clerks, some are bookkeepers that work, you know, for these companies, corpo people. Yeah. But no, not everyone in the Lucian Quarters is noble, is part of the royal family. Some people are just business owners that were born, you know, in the Lucian Quarter, so they're able to run a small business, but they don't have to worry about... Okay, I bet you used the word crown to mean money, and I read it as government. Okay, I was like, okay, good, yeah. Crown, their money's actually called crown. So their largest denomination is called the crown. Their next is saints, and the smallest denomination is called cress. So, yeah, that's how they're paid. All right, now I have to scroll back up. The bleaches. And I gotta find it. We're making a whole universe, right? So is this comic following a specific group or whatever? Yeah, the comic is following a specific group in this world. I am only building this one city, however. Well, two countries, technically. But most of this takes place in one city. So if there's other stuff that you guys want to make or create or write about or whatever, for the most part, as long as you follow like the guidelines, like go for it. You know, obviously you can't come in with like a spaceship and start murdering people. You know, that wouldn't really follow, but you know. Okay, Otter, can you repost your question about specialists? Because I totally missed it. Think of the spin-offs. How fucked up in the head is the average sponsored / indie canary? I'd say like a solid... Well, a sponsor canary, I'd say probably... I think they'd both be like 9s, but in different ways. Okay, hold on. I'm going down the list. I'm trying to find everyone's questions. I was asking if there are specialists for jobs that require diving or high heat areas. Hush spot. Basically places that required unique specialized skills to traverse or explore. Like, I guess I'm not sure what you mean by that. Back when they first started. Clockwork City could be a thing. Yes. Sorry, I'm still trying to scroll. You guys are typing a lot. Who or what is the head of government? In this city, in this country, it is a monarchy, and it is the Strivis monarchy. Cave diver in a monster-infested cave. Basically this. Okay. All right, we finally got there. We finally got to the bottom, yes. I don't know. Maybe, like, I guess there could be. That would probably be someone part of the mining team, though, I would think, instead of like a canary necessarily, because I think the canaries would go in and like make notes of where these sorts of things are, but like I don't think that they personally would go down and like dive or do something like that. They could maybe forward that information onto like a research team or a mining team so that they could then, you know, do more research on if they would, you know, dive or dig or whatever. Another question I had was, are there foreigners who show up to dive in the coils because there's no coils in their home country and they're adventurers? It depends on the country. This country, no, they are very xenophobic. They do not like outsiders. Other countries might allow it. But this country is not. They make it hard for their own people to dive, so it wouldn't make sense. I guess I could see reasons why, but no, they not this country. I thought they were big traders. They are, but they're not like letting people in, if that makes sense. Like the coil. Okay, let me explain a little bit. The coil itself is in the capital city. The country is a big trade, but the coil is in a very protected location. So it's not like, even if you're trading with another country, it's not like those people just come into this like secured location to just go like hang out and like take some stuff that this country is using, if that makes sense. They want a monopoly, yes. Might help if you do a very rough sketch of the map and show the coil. I don't have a map. I haven't done that at all, so I wouldn't even be able to do a rough sketch of the map. It is a question how much one is willing to pay. The king in this specific country is happy to do trades to form alliances and export and import goods. However, the actual coil itself belongs strictly to that city. So they will export parts of the coil that they can spare, but the actual going into the coil, the functioning of the coil, the TV show around the coil, the Canaries around the coil is very integral to that city, and he does not allow that to make it out of that city, if that makes sense. So like the show might broadcast, but you would never see oh, so it's basically a free city kind of situation. Well, no. I think you're struggling a little bit because you're looking at like actual real life functioning cities, and I didn't do any of that. I'm just kind of going off what I want, if that makes sense. So within the bounds of the kingdom, but really its own entity. Kind of. Okay, yeah, kind of. Like, the king is still the king of the country. He's still in charge of the entire country and his vassals and things like that. But, like, the city is very, like walled off. So even for, like, people of the same country, like, to come and go as they please, like, they need to have a reason to be there. They have to go through, like, the fantasy equivalent of customs, you know, things like that. Because they don't... Spies and people breaking into the coils is such a big thing with other countries that they don't want that. If that makes sense. So they don't want someone to like break into their coil and be like, oh, they've only discovered this. Or, you know, because if people know where you are in your coil or like how your production's going, because then they can kind of guess your military might and blah, blah, blah. So as long as he never asks us to do anything we don't want to. Yeah, kinda, yeah. That would be a good way to describe it. Answer. Feudal system. Every vassal is free to do what they want within their land as they please as long as they pay taxes. As long as they pay taxes and don't do anything too belligerent, yeah. I played enough Crusader Kings to know what vassals do in their free time. It's not fun. Is there a coil IRS? Like an auditing service? Oh god, that's CK. I know, I have that same reaction to CK, to be completely honest with you. There would have to be some kind of governing body to make sure that companies aren't, like, taking... Sorry. Aren't, like, taking more than they're recording. And things like that, I would guess. Wow, Clay! Clay, thank you for the 5 gift subs! Thank you, thank you! Why hasn't the kingdom just sent an army to take over the coils and replace the canary companies? The specific... Hello. That actually, there actually doesn't, but there always could be. Yeah. How the fuck? Mixed with capitalism. I see no problems with this. It'll be perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Because it's not as simple as just sending the army down because they don't know what exactly they're fighting. They don't know how long the coil is. They don't know how deep it goes. They don't know what's inside of it as far as geographical stuff. And like I said before, it's also extremely toxic. So it would be very difficult to march a large army into cramped spaces and then have them continue pushing over and over again when you have to feed and rest them and water them and care for them in a tight space for a significant amount of time. So it's not a viable option. So it's better to just let them expend their own supplies and time while they wait them out. Yeah, sorta. Well, basically, so the Canaries aren't hired by Canary companies. They are hired by other companies. So, for example, I'm trying to think like someone who just manufactures general common Drokdemek. So, essentially like KitchenAid. Fantasy KitchenAid that makes appliances for people in the Lucian quarters to buy to make their lives easier. They may sponsor a team of Canaries to go in and like kick ass and be televised, and everyone's like, oh, KitchenAid's Canaries are super cool. I'm gonna go buy KitchenAid appliances because their Canaries are tough and resilient and they're super cool looking, and so is their mixer. It's like that. So, I mean, wouldn't you buy a KitchenAid mixer if it was tied to a super cool badass group of people that murder monsters? I would. I would buy 6 KitchenAid mixers, and they're not cheap. Thank you, Razor! Thank you for coming! Have a good day! What determines whether or not a KitchenAid team gets viewed, or is it purely active on harvesting the rocks? I explained a little bit earlier. Most of the time it's random, but the show wants good ratings, so normally popular teams get shown more. Or if, you know, a company happens to slip some deciding factor, some extra coins, or, you know, someone has a connection somewhere that, you know, gets their team onto the television screen. See, that is a highly impractical amount of KitchenAid mixers, yes. Like, boom, here's so-and-so's wedding gift. That's true. That would actually be really convenient. I hate buying wedding gifts. So you can be like a really crappy Canary team, but like if you're really popular with the girls and you look good and you talk good and your company's willing to dump money on you, then, you know, you could end up on the TV show more than someone who's really good at kicking ass and taking names. I was gonna say taking names or taking ass and kicking names. Alright, okay. Building on this, do Canaries get involved in politics typically? Typically, the sponsor Canaries don't, in the way that's very, what's the word? Oh no, an ad. I'm gonna go potty. Tell Joey I'm gonna go to the bathroom so he doesn't have to worry about missing it. I will be back. I am BRB until I'll be back. Someone tell Joey. Tell Joey. Tell him. Tell Joey. Fucking hate you, Hawk.
Ara ara.
I'm back. I've returned. Oh, thank you, Robo, for the gift sub. Thank you. Now Joey can live. Really cool. You missed it. 1 of 6? Damn, you got 6 ads? What the heck? My suffering has not even begun. Okay, what were we talking about? Oh, politics. Okay, that's that scared me so bad my eyes stopped working, right? Holy shit. Oh my god. Thank you, Commissar. That was just what I needed to wake up. We got 6 ads. That's not good. Switching its ads, man. But yeah, that was really well timed. Alright, so politics. Don't go blind. I'm okay. I just got flashbanged with dicks is all. And are there named weapons? Okay, let's talk about politics and we'll hit named weapons. So as far as like sponsored Canaries go, sometimes they are nobility in some way. So because you can also be sponsored by a noble family. So maybe they don't own, you know, maybe they don't own a company, but they have land with peasants upon it or something like that. So they just have money. So they can also sponsor cages of Canaries. So I'm saying every 3 seconds. So they, you know, so someone could be a canary and then be involved with politics that way just because of their family, or yeah, that's really, a lot of them are just doing this as their like main job. I don't think there's anything like shut up, Kami. I don't think there's anything like inherently political about the Canaries. For, you know, I know like a lot of like celebrities nowadays like to get involved with politics. But I don't know if that's something that would really be advisable. If that makes sense, I guess. It's a monarchy, so it's not like the people vote one way or another. That makes, so it's not like there's an active hand in things like that. Does that make, I don't know. I hope that answers your question. I think it'd be case by case, really. And then Robo asks, are there any named weapons? I haven't written any down. There was, I was thinking last night when I was thinking about gear and stuff, and it would make sense for them to carry like a guardian. It would make sense for like a guardian to carry like a normal shield, you know, like made of wood or something, because like you don't want to use up all of your energy on like small fry and things like that, but you still would want to have some level of protection. So have a sword named Friendship. This seems like a setup for a copypasta. I don't trust you. So, like, people would have, like, you know, like a dagger or a sword or something, you know, still on them as, like, a backup weapon in case their magic runs out and things like that. But I don't really know if there'd be, like, a named weapon. You are correct. Has there ever been an attempt by Canary companies to do a change in status quo by violence? Like, get more concessions or anything from the nobles and make themselves more powerful? Like a coup? Is that what a coup is, or is that just when a military force does it? I don't know. This is so, so complicated. In this country, no. But in another country, perhaps. That's all I'll go into that, because that is plot. No, not a coup, just some kind of power grab. No, a lot of the, because like, so the whole system's kind of set up because a lot of the Canaries on the sponsor side are well off in one way or another. So they're benefiting from the system. Now, I'm not saying there wouldn't be someone who got greedy or they weren't trying to push for, you know, additional power or fame or whatever. But for the most part, everyone is well off. You know, like people in the sponsorship side of things are going into the coils for fame and fortune and like to have their name go down in the history books. They're not being forced into it. People on the independent side are being forced into it. However, they're basically getting killed relatively quickly. They're under-geared, they're underfed, they are underpaid. And so they don't really have the energy to cause something like a power grab. The Dragon District has had several revolts? Question mark? Like, I don't really, not really like a revolt, but like skirmishes. Riots? Riot would be a good one. They have had several riots in the past, but it never ends well. The guards can squash that pretty quickly. And then people who do have access to go up into the coil for whatever reason, or, you know, for if they have a clearance to go into the Lucian quarters or go into the coil, that normally gets revoked and then people are arrested and they're never heard from again. So, but like their owners or sponsors leading the charge on it. No, that would be more of like just a group of people banding together. I will say there are gangs in the Strigan district that illegally enter the coils. They're non-licensed, they are non-sponsored, they are non-independent, and they illegally enter and do what they need to do, and then they leave and then sell what they can on the black market, or if there's factories willing to do business with them directly instead of having to go through like a, you know, going through the coil staff or going through another merchant up above and things like that. What is the surface like? So the surface, the world itself is very much like Earth minus like our countries and things like that. But like the animals are the same, the weather's the same. Like there's nothing super duper crazy about that. So like, you know, it's set up like it's the whole city of Torturous is set up like a big circle, and then there's like branching webs of bridges that kind of go across the different, you know, the space that the coil is in, if that makes sense. Like KitchenAid doesn't want to pay tax anymore, so KitchenAid Canaries end up at the governor's mansion, and all of a sudden KitchenAid pays a lot less in tax. Wow, that was convenient. KitchenAid is such a convenient answer. Canaries aren't like trained soldiers, so they wouldn't be used that way. Now, like you could, but they're more or less, I'm just trying to make sure my idea got across. Yeah, no. I get what you're saying. And not in this country. In another country, perhaps that exact sort of thing happened, but not this country. Are there trained soldiers? Yes, there are trained soldiers that are acting as guards. They're acting as a small standing army. They are a mix of people that can use Droktemek and a mix of people that cannot use Droktemek. So you do have like standard equipped normal human people soldiers, and you have people that could have been Canaries but decided to go enter the army instead, and they are called knights. I know, very original. But yes, there are in fact trained soldiers. So, like the crown, for example, has a retinue of guards and soldiers. I think I missed a question. And why are the coils so important? Because they, people will pay top dollar for what comes out of the coils. So, a country with a coil ends up being very successful, very prosperous, because while Torturous and the surrounding country have KitchenAid mixers and toasters, most of the countries around them are in like the feudal ages. Just going to make sure my idea got across. Yes, allegedly happened. We don't allegedly. Perhaps it did. Perhaps it did not. And a canary just released a small aggravating coil monster into the property of a political leader. So this was something I did want to touch on because it was a little bit of a change. Coil monsters cannot breathe the outside air. Tactical Deborah. So I know a lot of people are talking about taking like monsters out of Toaster Function Stream Wheel. Yeah, I do want to do one. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people are talking about taking pets and stuff out, and I guess if you had a lot of money, you could figure it out. But you can't just take an animal out because it would suffocate. Well, now we need a Deborah gas mask. Yeah, that did cross my mind. So it is lethal to pull the monsters out of the coils. So that's why they don't just start rolling out of coils. There have been cracks in the coils before where monsters have fallen out, and the guards in the Strigan district have had to deal with them. But those were short-lived because, like I said, the monsters can't survive long. And then the cracks tend to cover themselves back over after a bit of time. So, like, the rich folks have special setups to keep pets alive. I mean, I don't know, maybe, if you're creative enough. I think maybe if you had your own artisan that would have time to specifically make weird trinkets for your coil weasel to wear a mask all the time, then yeah, maybe. Nothing is a no when you have enough money. Oh, I really want ramen noodles now. But yeah, I think, does anyone have any other questions? I think we'll be wrapping up here shortly. We'll simply replace a weasel's lungs with one of my independent canary. There you go. There you go. That's one way to handle that. Taylor J, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the meat hall. Are the monsters edible? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Oh no, I thought about this. I was gonna say no. Because they live in a poisonous environment, and a lot of them are poisonous. And I would think, by natural cause, they would in fact also be poisonous. King Karm, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the meat hall. Yeah, I think just being in a poisonous environment enough would get you, and you get a follow. Thank you. Thank you so much. They would make you also poisonous. Do monsters eat each other? Yes, they do. What if you cook it right? I mean, I don't know. I guess that would depend on the monster. No buffalo monster wings. I know. How much are you supposed to hurt if you go through a table? I think you would hurt a lot if you went through a table. Unless it's like that weird Adam thing. Are there sentient monsters like ones that can talk and organize in the coil? I don't know. I'm really torn on that one. I don't know yet. I'm very torn on that. Part of me doesn't want to include organized monsters, and part of me does, and I don't know yet. This means you gotta be very careful in cleaning and preparing the puffer fish. Like, I don't know why I'm against it, because it feels weird to have something sentient in it for some reason. I don't know why. I think part of it's I don't want to rely on the whole like generic fantasy like trope of like goblins and dwarves underground. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know yet. I gotta think on that one some more. Maybe. Make a monster that can mimic human noises and lures people to death. Sounds like something Robo did. Y'all talking about cooking pufferfish? They want to die. Okay, but hear me out. Goblins are fucking. I know they can be terrifying. I don't know. Goblin Slayer kind of ruined goblins for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like them. Maybe if I like seriously redesign them. I don't like goblins. I don't like anything about them. Like, as a scary monster, I don't like them. As a lame monster, I don't like them. I just don't like goblins. An Oni, yeah. Goblins. What about drow? Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of falling into the stereotype. So I don't think a sentient, this is my thing. I don't think a very sentient creature that has like made a village or some kind of, you know, living area in the coils would allow a bunch of people to come trompsing through on a daily basis and like cause a whole bunch of issues. I think at some point there would end up being some kind of like skirmish war type situation. You know what I mean? Which is not the story I want to tell. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I think if I did have something sentient, they wouldn't be super duper sentient. They'd probably be like how like monkeys can use tools and things like that. It wouldn't be like, they wouldn't be using like group tactics and all that. No goblin short stacks. Jesus. Oh, did you ever get around to the question of how often would one canary team off another canary team for? Oh yeah, no, I did not. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't write it down, but I did think about it. I would think that it would sometimes happen. Not sanctioned, of course, but it would be super unfortunate if the Cuisinart team suddenly just got, you know, dropped into a boiling pit of goop. That's really unfortunate for the Cuisinart team. KitchenAid sends their condolences. Allegedly dropped. Hello, sponsor company. I would like to commit one crime. No war crimes here at all. There's no equal intelligence. Like, intelligent predator doesn't have to be sentient. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Not like it's kind of like if you get separated and you're not in front of like the cameras or a camera crew or anything like that, it's kind of the Wild West, yeah. That'd be an awesome plotline. Yeah. I think it was Fubi that asked me. She's like, "Well, what if two teams ran into each other?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good point. What if two teams ran into each other?" I'm sure some teams would like help each other depending on who was in it and how they like liked each other, but then some other teams would not. You know? So what if allegedly I were to hollow out the head of the Amazon Guardian and rip the stones out of her body because she isn't watching me and I really don't want to fight a monster today? I mean, allegedly, if those stones ended up in your pocket by accident, you could then maybe potentially wash them off and perhaps sell them or have them installed in yourself, maybe in Minecraft. Why was it a theoretical she? Because most guardians are she's. Allegedly. Meet the Soul Reaper, extra spicy sleep paralysis demon. That was the Magic System stream. I don't think you were there for that one. Yes. Most strikers are men, most guardians are women, and the slingers can go anyway. But there can be strikers that are females, and there can be men that are guardians. It's just kind of how the stones have tabled. But yeah, I think I have time for one more question. I can field one more question, and then we'll call it a day. If you guys have any other questions, you can also throw them in the Discord. So. And then I will get this. I will just take this as is and put it into the Discord. Hawkshot, don't waste the last question on that. Don't be like that. I'm sure Joey's actually trying. Also, it's Fubi. Fubi's my PogChamp. Hey, I've asked a lot of good questions. That's true. No, don't clip that. No! Don't clip that! Alright, well, if there's no more questions, things I'm probably trying. It's hard to tell because at a distance, it looks like I'm being silly. It's true. But yeah, I guess if there's no more questions, we'll just call it a night, and maybe I can make some ramen noodles and sit on my couch and eat them and be a happy camper. Did I miss a question? Did I miss Commissar's question? He's whining again. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I missed a question. What is your MC's name for the comic? Should I reveal it to you guys? Should I tell you what the MC's name for the comic is? Should I tell you guys? I could tell you. I could tell you. Should I tell you, though? You've already seen art of them. I've already posted art of them, so. Oh, boy. Right here is the main character. Guess I wish for Gear Stream. Should we do Gear Stream next? Otter's just constantly trying to troll. He just cannot help it. Why am I being tagged? I don't know why you're being tagged. I have no idea. But yes, you have seen art of Verilice before. I posted a couple times. Super incognito like. I did hide it in plain sight. You guys had no idea. Is busy with you're busty with your humidifier? Yes, she is the main character. There'll be other MCs, but they are I haven't drawn them yet. They have names, but they haven't been drawn yet, so yeah. The average Guardian's chest plate? Wow. Yes, like a damn fiddle. It was sitting there on screen all along and you guys had no idea. I will not draw a busty humidifier to mock Gamma. I'm gonna go make ramen noodles, I think. I've been very unhealthy today. I'll probably have to make sure I go to the gym tomorrow or something. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to throw them into the Discord. Yeah, and I guess that's it. You guys are gonna have to go through and you're gonna have to you're gonna have to go through and listen to the VOD again to get everything, but I will throw this into the do you guys want me to make like a separate thread for this? Would that be better? So you don't lose it? I'll make a separate thread. Feels tired, man. All men have an armor fetish? I don't know. I don't know about that. But thank you guys for coming. I don't have I have tomorrow off, I think. Am I streaming tomorrow? No, I'm not streaming tomorrow, right? Am I streaming tomorrow? No, it's cheese tomorrow. We'll be doing cheese tomorrow. I'm gonna be eating cheese tomorrow. So, yeah, look forward to Sunday when I drop a new schedule and we'll talk about what we're doing then. Next lore stream won't be next week. It'll be the week after because I realized that I need at least 2 weeks to prep for these because it's actually a lot of information and stuff. So next week we'll probably just be doing lots of art and not lore. But the week after there will be lore. So prepare for that. But thank you guys so much for coming. Have a great night. Me. Bye-bye.